Have you noticed that things have been a little bit weird, a little bit tweaked since TikTok came back online in the US? Because, yesterday I was getting weird notifications on my videos as I was uploading them that are now gone. But I also noticed that lives were gone and I saw a bunch of people commenting to that effect. And I saw other folks saying like, oh, my algorithm feels really different. I'm not seeing some of my favorite creators. I'm seeing very different content. I'm seeing more pro right-wing content. One of my mutuals said when she opened up the app, the first video that she saw was like a pro Cheeto video. And for me today, lives are back online. I don't do lives. I've never done one. And I rarely watch. Sometimes I'll watch lives for my mutuals if I'm just knitting or something like that. Basically, like in lieu of a podcast, I'll watch one of my mutuals lives. But I noticed that the lives that I keep getting presented to me that will come up in my feed today, 0 of them have been my mutuals. And they all look like this girly here. The irony of pairing the Christian cross with any Cheeto paraphernalia never ceases to amaze me. As an ex-Presbyterian, that's Presbyterian Church in America. Okay, let's get off her photo. I don't want to look at that anymore. So as an ex-evangelical, ex-Presbyterian, I have lost so many friends to Trumpism, to the MAGA pipeline, and I will never understand it. Like, were we reading the same scriptures? Like, I don't understand how anybody thinks that Christianity and MAGA are compatible. I realize that their brand of Christianity has completely lost the plot. It's something that the rest of the world doesn't really recognize. It's a cult. It's not really the Christianity of the majority of Christian history. It has been twisted into something ugly. But before I go on too much of a tangent about that, I just think it's weird. Like, the algorithm should know better. That I'm, 1, don't want to watch that content, and 2, I'm not going to be radicalized by it. So stop showing it to me. There is no flippin' way I would go down the alt-right pipeline. I guess maybe they're hoping other people will. And I also realize that they are pandering to that crowd because that is what the Cheeto wants. He wants that content pushed and promoted. Those folks want to be rewarded for helping get him elected. And I've seen other creators say this, and I have said this from the get-go, that like the TikTok experience that we have is not the majority of the TikTok experience. That we think TikTok has been a safe place for us, but that's because we are in our bubble and we don't see that the rest of TikTok really did help get the Cheeto reelected. That there is a lot of far right nonsense on this platform. There has been a huge amount of it. I saw another creator say, like, how do you think so many Gen Zers got radicalized for the right? They've spent the last 4+ years on this app, and their algorithm has looked very different than yours or mine. So that's just something to think about. Like, we have this partition here, but we occasionally get it drawn back and we see what's happening on the other side. And the other side is massive and influential. And I think for other folks, that door slides back a lot more and that eventually it gets pinned open, right? The more they interact with and view that kind of content. That is very much like how YouTube radicalized so many kids in 2015, 2016. I've said here and on Blue Sky, you can follow me at Parkrose Perma on Blue Sky, that I'm not sure how long I will stay on this app. We are going to have to see what it looks like. We're going to have to get more information, and it's going to have to become clearer to me whether this is someplace I want to be creating content and whether I want this platform to use my content to create revenue for them. So the jury is still out for me, but I don't love what I'm seeing in my FYP, seeing what is put forward to me. And I'm trying to be more cognizant of the fact that my corner of TikTok is probably not the majority of the TikTok experience. And what does that mean for America if this is how folks are getting their information and getting radicalized?